That schoolboy defending.
This season, try PointsBet's NFL Bet Tracker. Bet on NFL markets like passing yards or receptions and follow them live in the PointsBet app. Available on singles, multis and same-game multis. PointsBet. Built different. Imagine what you could be buying instead.
Welcome back, everyone. It's the Aces NFL show, and we'll be powered by PointsBet for the rest of the year, Big Sip. We're starting off with a bang. PointsBet's on board.
Yeah, love it.
The Fantasy Championship has concluded. I'll get the Sip to run it through. I think Harrow's on the camera today. Big fella went down by 1 point. 1 point, I heard, and he had Colts defense. We'll break that down. Weren't they a villain? But, mate, I am up and about. You can't start the year any better than winning the Fantasy Fells American Aces.
Get out of it, mate. Get out of it. You played my second 11, to be honest. No Lamb, no Kamara.
I was flat for you when I heard Lamb was out. I wanted a competitive
That's unbelievable. We needed some competitive spirit, and Kamara and Lamb decided to just say, hey, we'll shut up shop for the year, mate. So, hey, we gave it a red-hot crack. You know, McConkey did very well. Herbert was pretty good. So, I put, your sphincter got a little tight there for a bit. But,
I was very tight.
Higgins came through with the goods in the end, so I scored 35 points. So, look, 13-1, mate. You deserved it, but we'll be back next year. Don't worry about that.
It was a very competitive year. I must say, everyone's in more than one league, right?
For sure.
There's players that went missing.
Yeah, there were a lot.
And Jordan Love went missing for me in one league, and he also went missing in that game. And in the end, you must say, if Packers play, they played pretty poor on offense. The defense, I thought, was pretty well.
Yeah.
But if they just get going a little bit, they're going to be hard to beat. They were pretty bad now. They just lost.
Yeah, that's right.
I know the Vikings may have.
No, that's right. They played pretty bad for most of the game, to be honest. Like the Vikings had them, pretty much all sorted. And then obviously 2 explosive drives get you right back into it. So if they get that going, they're a team to definitely watch out for. We saw what they did last year against the Cowboys. Everybody was on the Cowboy train last year, and look what they did. And, they're definitely set up to be able to do something similar again.
I've got down some notes here. We'll fly through because me and Sib have got a lot to talk about. We want to talk about the Week 18 games and the motivation for some, and some that just non-existent, and they're going to be resting. So, look, big Week 17. Congratulations to everyone out there that joined me, Meatball, and Rat winning the championship. It's a tough thing to do. Harrow, you wouldn't understand, King. That's why you're over there, not in the league. Having a go at me all year. Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley. Well, I think they put up 80 between them this week.
That's unbelievable.
But if you did have, I'd love to know the stats. If you had Saquon in your team, I reckon you would have had to.
You'd be looking pretty good. You'd have to. If you had Saquon in your team and that, you're looking pretty strong. There's no doubt.
Righto. Well, last week there's a lot to talk about, but I can't get over the Colts. They cost me a stack.
Just embarrassing.
And not only that, I've got Villain here, and T. Higgins was the hero, but Villain's Colts defense.
Yeah.
And it'd been all right, but against the Giants, I don't know whether we go to Drew Lock as the hero.
I don't know.
What's going on?
It couldn't be funnier. You've got the number 1 pick.
Oh my God.
And you drop down to the 4. It sounds like it's not much, but you've gone from the first pick, your franchise is shot to pieces, and you're gone, let's just win a game here now for the first time at home, and now we've got pick 4. Why not even get a quarterback? Excellent. Good on you. Oh, just hilarious. Most Giants thing ever. I love it.
I can't
but the Colts, oh, dearie me. I don't know. Especially when they've actually got a playoff spot on the line. They're actually still in playoff contention.
No, they're out now.
No, I know they're out. That's what I'm saying. But going into that game, they're still playoff contention, in the box seat to still shake it up and have a crack at it. And that's the game that you pencil in to go, we're okay, and you drop the ball. Unbelievable.
The thing for me was I was going, I just need Pittman. I need a Pittman to score, and I need them to win, right?
Yeah.
Everything else had ticked. I love Neighbours, and geez, wasn't he good? But I'm thinking halftime they'll reset. I saw a bit of leadership on the sidelines, a defensive player.
And it looked that way.
Yeah. First play.
Mate.
First play, special teams touchdown from Giants. Like the first play after the half. I go, are you kidding me?
And it was like it just like had wide open. Like he didn't even get touched. It was unbelievable. I was like, God, if you're finding a way to screw this up, you're doing a very, very good job of it right now. But yeah, that was shocking.
Yeah,
shocking.
So that was something that blew my mind.
How'd you feel about that,
Harrow? Lucky I didn't watch it. So.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't have wanted to watch it. Tough for all involved.
Oh, gee.
The other thing that I took note of is the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They are looking unbelievable the last couple of weeks.
They look scary.
It's a bit
Hollywood Brown being back has opened up their offense. Like Worthy has just come out of nowhere. Well, not that he'd come out of nowhere because he'd actually been pretty solid all year, but he has just been super explosive over the last couple of weeks. Now the Brown's back. Kelsey, touchdown. Thank you, by the way. And they're dangerous.
Yeah, well, it made me laugh because we had a chat, but I had a good go at Kelsey McBride off camera, and you go, "Fuck, I didn't get on McBride." You think you might have got on Kelsey, but
I got on Kelsey.
They were out running cold, never touch again last week.
No.
Tyreek Hill decided to go for I think he went for 100, but
yeah, he did.
His line was like 42.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like,
very
"This
funny."
is sickening.
And that's probably because of Huntley being it. But yeah, great.
Kyle Pitts gets a touch. We had ice cold McBride, Kelsey, Pitts, Tyreek Hill, never touch again, and we had Ferguson.
On the last drive too, the last play before overtime. Let's just throw it to Pitsy.
Oh, it's a fun game.
They're looking really good though. The Chiefs, like it's actually scary. And now that they're going to be resting their players and they are in the box seat, and it's so annoying. Like
I know,
but.
I'm wearing their top
teams just know how to do it. Good teams know how to do it, mate.
I'm trying to curse them by wearing it today.
You do.
Get around it.
It doesn't seem to be the case. So, well done.
The other one was the Bengals and the Broncos game.
Massive. What a game.
I was on that flight overseas. I ran out of coverage. I was getting text messages from you, and I just said, I need Higgins for another catch.
Well, Higgins got it. Tell you that right now.
And I love that they finished the game with a tutty.
Yeah.
Not a.
Well, when the guy kicking misses it, I actually said to my wife, I said, they are not putting the ball back in that kicker's hands or feet, I should say. They are just going to go down and score a tutty because when you're missing a 28-yarder and you've hit the post, there's no need to do anything else, mate. You just go down and do it yourself. You've done it all year, Joe. You may as well continue on and just finish it off by scoring yourself, mate. So what a game, though. Cracking game. It's all set up. I'm a bit flat because now that the Chiefs are probably going to rest, as I said, which we'll probably get into. But, gosh, they're fighting hard. They're fighting hard.
They're fighting hard. And another one is Mims. I have been pumping up Mims. I think next year Mims will be a player to watch, especially with a young quarterback. You can put a bit of cash around Sutton if he's there again. I mean, Mims, Sutton, and then maybe if they can add a running back or just someone that's really good in the backfield.
A good back would probably help him immensely, which would be big for him. Nah, it's not it.
I think he's had enough chances.
I'm just glad I don't have to apologise to Bo because now even if they do beat the Chiefs, guess what? He's playing against their second team, so I'm feeling pretty good about it right now.
Well, the apology's going to come. I think a wild card win would be...
If they win, obviously, in week one, that's fine. Credit to him for a rookie to go in there and win. He's going to have to do it on the road, obviously. It's going to be a tough one, but credit to him.
I just want to read this out before I love me screenshots off Instagram. I sent it to you, but this one, we might as well finish with a Jets stat just because I thought this week they'll throw that first touchdown to Devontae Adams or his 500th will come. Yeah. Well, it didn't come. QBR has been, they've had a database of 9,697 games in their time. And Rodgers' game on the weekend ranked 9,677th with a QBR rating of 1.2. Oh. He had 4 sacks. He had 2 interceptions, 112 yards. Then Tyrod Taylor enters the game, 11 of 14, 2 tutties. Yeah. QBR rating of 95.
Yeah.
And I did say to you all year, didn't I, that Tyrod Taylor can ball.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that he can. You got to take it with a grain of salt, though. Like
I do, but I also think
the Bills would have been playing their seconds out there for a bit too, and just in cruise control. There's
Aaron's
no doubt.
Last drive, he would have had some there's no
doubt. When you're 40-0 and he's probably still in there doing it, it's shocking. But I don't know. This might be the last time we see Rodgers this week. That's a genuine discussion point and a genuine thing that could happen. It might be Aaron Rodgers' last game we see in the NFL
as
this week.
As a guy that's loved him all year, I think it has to be.
Yeah, I just think which is a bit of a shame because obviously watching his Netflix, documentary in that, I mean, the guy is a fucking star. Like he's been a star for a long, long time. Like he arguably could have won more. He's just probably stiff that he had a Patriots organization or one team that in the NFC would just get him at the right time because gosh, he's been one of the best players for a good 10, 12-year period, and he was just so hard to stop. What he was being able to do for many, many years is a credit to him. It's a shame that it kind of ends in this way, and it's injuries and the organisation and him and all that stuff kind of ends a bit sour and a bit shit for him, but gosh, he's been good for a long time.
Okay, hypothetical, just because we'll have some fun. I agree.
Yeah.
I think he will retire.
Yeah.
He just looks old.
Yeah.
If he was to go to one club, where do you think he should go for 1 year at a chance?
Oh, far out. As a starting quarterback, and Atlanta.
Okay. I thought Cleveland maybe.
Nah, because they're just as dog shit as what the Jets are. And they are an organisation that is just shot to pieces, like franchise-wise, I don't know. I think Atlanta.
I just thought because
I like Atlanta.
I just thought because their defense.
Yeah.
The other one would be Colts because the O-line.
Colts would be the other one with their O-line, but I think Atlanta, I like the thought potentially of Atlanta if you wanted to try and run it back. And I know they're trying to chase something as
Penix
well.
looks
But
good.
Oh, I do. No, nothing against it. I'm just saying.
Well, back up.
No. I'm just saying, like, if you had nobody else around, like there was a team that needed somebody desperately, and you look at everything else around them, minus like quarterback and stuff, I'd probably pick Atlanta because I think it's a great Division 1 to be able to go and win the division. And then 2, obviously the caliber of offense that they do have with young guys, Bajan, London, Mooney's, like that type of thing.
Maybe Pitts is good, who knows?
Yeah, maybe Pitts, who knows? But just that's more what I'm thinking. I love Penix Jr. I think he's going to be a great guy, a great player for him in the future and stuff. But if you hadn't eliminate that, you just go franchise is looking for someone now. That's the kind of team that I would think of straight away. But I think it might be all said and done.
Love it.
Yeah.
Let's get to the aces.
Yeah.
Q&A.
Yeah.
Let's go quick.
Yeah.
Caleb, Kuzmic, Falcons lose, but Penix will be Falcons QB for years to come.
Agree.
Dylan Robinson, same as the last 3 weeks. Sam Darnold, Super Bowl MVP.
I tell you what, they win this weekend. Geez, they look good. They win this weekend, box seat, like absolute box seat. Number 1 seed, NFC. It's a chance.
I was just about to say, Darnold and Baker Mayfield at the Panthers together.
Oh, isn't that amazing?
Isn't it amazing how I reckon now you've got to look into, someone's talking about Zach Wilson, right? And they're going, maybe he deserves a second chance because you look at the
but look at the organisations that they've been at.
The Browns for
Jets
Baker
and the Browns,
the Jets, and then
basket
the Panthers.
cases for years, absolute years.
And the Panthers,
proof's in the pudding.
The Panthers, I reckon their head coach this year, as you can see with Bryce Young, how much has he grown?
No doubt.
The last 2-3 months.
Yeah.
So
I can see it happen. I don't mind the Sam Darnold call. He's been on fire. He's got a great matchup again against this Detroit secondary. Great matchup. Love it.
It's going to be on.
It's on.
And while we're on that game, by the way, I've spoken to PointsBet traders.
Yeah.
And they have promised me that me and you are going to get a same game special.
Wow.
For that game, and it's going to be on the PointsBet app.
All right, watch out.
You know how me and you always putting one together.
Right.
And last week, by the way, we forgot to go through the best.
We like it. We like it. Is our man David getting it done for us? Who's getting it done?
The whole team's getting it done. Don't worry, the whole PointsBet crew will be getting it done.
It. That's great.
And so if you're out there, download the PointsBet app and check out our little special we've got for that game because that game, honestly, it's like it feels like a Super Bowl.
Oh,
it's
great.
If you lose, you go to 5.
And I'm expecting high scoring, like both secondaries, whatever you got in the San Francisco Detroit game on Monday night. This is what you should be getting on Sunday, here. Monday. Sorry, I should say here. That's going to be a belter, and everything's on the line. Everything.
Couple more here. Looking like Josh Allen will sit week 18. Does that leave the door open for Lamar MVP?
It's an interesting question, isn't it? Yeah, it's not a bad call. Lamar does what he does again. Maybe, it's a shot. But
I sent you a video of Lamar's picks. He's had 3 interceptions off offensive players dropping in.
That's right.
Do you reckon they take that into account? Because he would honestly have one.
No, they'd have to.
He's had 1 interception.
Yeah, they'd have to. Yeah, no, I agree. He's put up great numbers again. There's no doubt.
If Vikings do trade Darnold, I think Colts and Seahawks are a Super Bowl contender with Darnold. From O'Connor.
Maybe more the Seahawks than what I'd say the Colts. But yeah, okay.
Do Tennessee, Vegas, Giants give up early picks for JJ McCarthy if Vikings keep Darnold? Weak QB draft.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't mind that either.
Yeah.
Why would you give up Darnold if you're going, let's say Darnold gets him to a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Or even if he gets him to the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Why would you give him up?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I'd be going, I'm happy with what I've got.
No, I think it's a great question. Yeah, no doubt. But I can agree with that. Tennessee, Vegas, and Giants. Not a strong draft. Yep, I think I can see that for sure.
Do they do the Jordan Love treatment with McCarthy and say, you know what, sit for 3 years?
I wouldn't. Probably not.
Why?
One as Donald's not Aaron Rodgers. And not at the hype.
If you get 2 more years of him, then you
not
go
3. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If you get 2 or 3 years of him, you go, well, he's put up a fair bit of work there. We can maybe say he's a pick 4 or whatever. He's not a bum.
No. Sam Darnold's a pick 3. I know that. Yeah, no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt about that. I just don't think it'd be that. I just don't think it'd be that long.
We know that,
but it's all change. Can all change
sometimes.
They're a bit shocked. Everyone's a bit shocked to how Minnesota's gone, and same with Sam. So, that's definitely a good discussion.
News coming out of camp as we entered the studio today, but Saquon Barkley has told everyone he's going to rest.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it? And I'll change the question. Would you rest if you're Saquon Barkley, if you were given the opportunity by the coach?
There's a bigger picture to it all, isn't it?
There is, but there's also,
there's history on the line.
I thought legacy is pretty important as well.
There's history on the line in terms of having your name up there, which would be pretty sick. It's tough.
If I'm his agent, I reckon
the thing is like, there's obviously, you're going to go to the Super, you're not sure if you're going to make it to the Super Bowl, right? There's obviously no guarantee with it. You're never sure. I know you want to get there as a bigger plan. I know that. But there's no guarantee there. You pretty much got a guarantee to get 100 yards against this Giants defense on the weekend. That's all I would say.
It's just the injury thing, though.
Just the injury thing. And I get it. But he could do it in the first quarter probably if he wanted to against this Giants defense. In all honesty, I think he could do it in the first quarter and a half, to be honest, and then you'd say, okay, wrap it up. But that's not our call, is it, in the end? But yeah, I just think your chance to go into the history books, no one's going to do it probably after. It's still going to be very tough to do. And your chances there to be the number one guy after everything you've been through injury-wise and with the organisation that you've been with, here's your chance. I would have thought, let's go get that 100. Let's go get it. But I guess not.
I did send you a word. There was a word that they used. I can't even remember. But it's on
they
the thing.
said probably.
Probably rest. So
Rest.
I think there's a sniff.
Yeah, it's a slight, but I doubt it.
A couple more things from our aces. Let's go through them quickly here. But just on there, I mean O'Connor here, but the MVP, I actually think that you got to, whoever's voting, it's a Josh Allen due to who he's beaten, or it's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Burrows in the equation, with these numbers if they make it. But Lamar Jackson has been, as a Ravens man, he's honestly had 1 pick out of the 4 because of 3, and it's the fact that he can do. I just think if you said to me right now, put them next to each other and go to the Super Bowl, who would you pick? I think most people would pick Lamar personally.
Do you?
I would.
Fair enough. That's good.
You?
I like it. Out of the Bills or the Ravens?
No, you just get to pick one quarterback.
Oh, one quarterback people would to lead to the
Super Bowl day. If you get to pick one of them, who would you take?
Great question. And you'd take Lamar.
I would take Lamar.
Has Lamar been able to do it on the biggest stage?
He hasn't. Neither has Allen.
Very true.
Very similar.
So probably the guy that you're wearing right now is about the only guy that's been able to do it.
I think from what I've seen, Lamar hasn't played confident against. He's always played this. Always give it to the running back. Yeah. It's a completely different Lamar this year.
It is a completely different Lamar. There's no doubt. Yeah,
they''s got a good. Their list's healthy.
Now's the time for him to do it. If there's a year for him to do it, this is the year. There's no other. I think there's no other thing they can do. They just have to get it done this year with the caliber that they've got. But fair point. I like it.
Colts defense never again, for fuck's sake. Billy Ward, love that.
Bye.
Jakey Andrews says he misses the MILF hunter. Got a few people here saying they can't find us on the feed. That's because we're with PointsBet. Get around PointsBet now.
There we go.
Couple more here, but Jaden Daniels is unbelievable.
Yeah, star. What he's been able to do is very impressive. He's all but wrapped up, I reckon, offensive rookie of the year. So good on him. Well done.
Is that the last we've seen of A-Rod, Bobby? Yes, I think we've already spoken about that. Colts. A lot of people filthy with the Colts. Oh,
don't blame them.
And then Hayden Shade, I'm telling you right now, if you're the Chiefs, you let Denver win.
You do. because nobody wants to play the Bengals right now. There's no doubt about that, and you let them win, which is it's kind of shit. I personally I don't really like it, but because you want to see arguably the best teams in it, and the Bengals right now with what they've been able to do 4 in a row. Their offense is unbelievable. The defense is starting to get it together. And you arguably want the best teams to be able to play. And I'd love to see the Bengals in there, but I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately.
Either do I. And it's we did call this a couple of weeks ago. We're like,
so
can you
shit.
imagine? And we did also say the Giants and Saquon. Wouldn't that be
so shit.
amazing to look at?
Gosh.
But yeah.
Imagine Bills Bengals in first week, 2v7. It'd be unreal.
Or the Bengals are like the Lions. You just get offense, and that's all I love defense. But when you're watching a game, if you get Seattle versus Chicago and you get 6-3, it ruins the product. I don't care what you say.
No, I agree.
It ruins the product.
No, I agree.
Maybe if it's 30-3, it's like, well, that team just dominated.
Yeah, exactly.
When it's 6-3, it is the worst. It's the hardest thing to watch.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Well, we have some big games coming up, I must say there's some big things going around. Quick housekeeping. Super Bowl party. Everyone's talking to us. What are we doing, Sid? What are we doing? Well, we're doing something at the Osborne, aren't we? We're going to be there. There's going to be a little bit of live podcast.
Good. We've been waiting a while to be able to say this, so we're pretty excited by it, to be honest.
And a lot of people always they got they're not sure. I know if you're like me, it's a last minute job. You and your boys in a WhatsApp. Boys, who's coming? The day off work. It's obviously a Monday.
Yeah.
Just let everyone know in your WhatsApp group. We are going to be at the Osborne. We're going to pack that place out. We're going to have some fun giveaways. It's going to be elite. So put that in the diary. The second thing here is it's incentive week, baby.
Yeah.
And last year, I remember Hopkins cost me an absolute stack, and I reckon they didn't want him to have it. So I want to level everyone's expectations and just say that with these incentives, some clubs don't want you to get them because they've got to pay money. But
that's right.
when you got someone like Baker Mayfield and Mikey Evans, and he needs 85 yards, I reckon you're going to be. I reckon he's going to be throwing it to him. So look, we're going to go through them, but I know you've got a lot there, don't you, Sid?
I do. I got a bit.
So let's go incentives, and then we're going to get into the Week 18 schedule, and we're going to talk about the games that matter and the ones that don't to help you. Most likely with your bets because there's not much fantasy going on. If you're still doing fantasy, well, your commissioner needs to have a spell. You should be all over by now.
Shouldn't be going to week 18, I'll tell you that right now.
Or you'd be flat.
Oh, gosh.
All right, what do you got for us?
Well, our first one here is Mike Evans, as we spoke about. So he's obviously trying to get to his 1,000 yards again. So he only needs 85 more yards to be able to reach 1,000. And that makes him arguably, so he'll secure a $3 million bonus if he gets 70 receptions and 1,000 yards on the year. So he needs 5 more catches and he needs 85 more yards to be able to do that. I'd be putting almost the house on it, to be honest, because
the hamstring's the only thing that worries me.
That's the only thing, but that is huge. 5 catches, 85 yards. That's easy going for Mike Evans, and he's got the Saints. With no Lattimore. So thank you very much if you ask me. So $3 million on the line for him. 5 catches, 85 yards. Also, $666,000 is also available if he finishes top 10 in receiving touchdowns. He's currently 14th with 11. Needs 13 to get into the top 10.
They could really force it to him last week. I watched, you had,
You'll do it again.
Did you have Bucky Irving in fantasy?
I did. He did everything but score a tutty.
I know, because they were just going goal line.
Yep.
And then he just pegged it at Mike.
Just find it.
And Mike just catches it.
Yeah, 1v1. He's 6'5", hard to beat. Happy days. So that's one right there, which is very, very juicy. Next one, Cortland Sutton needs to clear 1,065 yards for an extra 500K. He is 82 yards away from doing that in a must-win game for the Broncos. Highly likely Bo Nix is going to be throwing it to him. Love it.
And they are resting all their starters.
And the Chiefs basically aren't playing anybody on defense. So McDuffie and their other corner, I can't remember his name, but they both will not be playing. So that should be another juicy one for you. Next one, J.K. Dobbins will receive 150K if he clears 900 rushing yards. He's 134 away from doing that. He can also double his bonus if he gets to 284. Probably a bit tough, but I like 134 potentially for him to be able to get.
I read that he also gets 150,000 if he gets 58 more yards.
There you go.
So there's an incentive there.
Yeah.
They are locked in, but they'll want to keep playing hard. They've got motivation to play for 100%.
This one. 100%.
So just know that 58 yards as well, it locks him into 150.
Yeah.
130 something is tough.
It's tough.
And I also
No
don't know
doubt.
if they want to bang him up.
Nah.
So I reckon they might just try to get that 58.
Agree.
Let's get it on the money here.
Yeah.
But the 136 seems
It is a bit tough.
knowing the coach
no
as
doubt.
well. I reckon he'd be like, son, we'll pay you more next contract.
Well, yeah, that's also true, especially when he hopefully can come back and be healthy with it. But there's no doubt. And who do they? They've got the Raiders. So
how many does Sutton need? I'm just writing notes here.
Sutton needs 82.
82 yards.
82 yards.
No tutties.
No tutties. Just needs to get to 82 yards to get it.
They are like some of your best bets of the year.
Yeah,
really. Like Mike
100%.
Evans, 85 and 5.
Yeah,
and then
that's-
honestly probably does get 2 tutties, but just the 85 and 5. And then the Sutton 82
Yeah.
with
In
Chiefs
a must win.
seconds.
Yeah. And in a must win.
With motivation
That's right.
high.
That's right. Next one's Hopkins. So this one's an interesting one. So we've spoken about the Chiefs probably resting it, but Hopkins could be an option. I'm not sure. He might go out there for the first bit with Carson Wentz who's starting. He needs 1 touchdown to receive a $500K bonus. So he's currently on 5. He needs to get to 6. He needs 6 catches to get $250K for a total to get to his total of 65. And he needs 140 receiving yards to also get another 250K yards bonus.
You'd think that if he wanted it, he'd be back. Like he's been getting rested and he's non-existent in that offense now that
I know.
Hollywood's back. So
I agree. I'd just be looking for the
touchdown.
You get him out there early and see if you get a good drive early and see if you find him in the end zone. That's what I would look for there, really.
But does Satan go to him?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, if there's nobody else out there, then yes. Of course he does.
Gray play?
Noah Gray plays.
So it's just Kelsey. Does Hollywood Brown play?
I think with the injury stuff, I think Hollywood would at least play the first half.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. And then you've got Watson,
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Juju. So that type of guy.
So
but I think Hopkins will start and see if they can get him in the first to be able to score, and then that might say ta-da. Because that's the most he's get. $500K for 1 tutty.
Yeah. I don't think he's getting anywhere near the catches.
I don't think he's getting receptions, and I don't think he's getting his yardage. There's no doubt. So the 1 tutty I'd be looking for in that one.
While you're going, this reminds me of the Gronk. Have you seen the NFL films?
The Gronk one's unbelievable.
Where he's like, woo.
Brady just, so good. That one was awesome.
But Brady just peppered him just literally goes left.
I know.
Don't even slant, just threw him the ball.
Hilarious. Unreal. Next one is Tony Pollard. $450K on the line in week 18 for this man. He needs 118 more rushing yards for a $250K bonus. And he scored 5 touchdowns so far, and he needs 2 more for another $200K. So that's
how much is that? $200K.
$200K to get 2 more tutties.
Yeah, well, they are pox, that franchise.
They are. They're pox, no doubt. And he didn't play last week either.
Which I'd imagine hurts him. Because they would have scored. He would have scored.
He would have scored, but it hurts him. And then the last one here, there's a couple more. But there's for one of these that I got here is obviously MVS.
Yeah.
So he gets himself an extra $250K this week. All he needs is 1 more touchdown. And then he can earn another $250K with 3 touchdowns against the Bucs. So basically, he scores 1, he gets $250. If he scores 3, he gets $500.
I like that. I think he'll score.
Yeah. And then Baker Mayfield also had one as well. So that was made it even more interesting from the Bucs' point of view. So not only was it Mike Evans, but Baker Mayfield's got another one, got an incentive too as well in terms of them winning, getting the number 1 seed in the division, and also him personally as well for like $500K. So I'm trying to look that up right now for you, but that's what made it even more interesting is not only there's an incentive for Evans, but Baker's got some stuff on the line too that he wants to make sure that he gets as well. So
I love it.
Match made in heaven, if you ask me.
All right, Sip. Well, I've got some notes here, and you've mentioned a few. I think the only one you're missing is Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry is the other one because they're going to be playing. They need to wrap up. They need to wrap up the number 1 seed, or not the number 1 seed. Sorry, the number 1 spot in the division to be able to finish number 3 overall. I think on the AFC side. So they're going to be playing to win because they need to get that division still. So definitely Derrick Henry there is a big one. So I like that a lot.
Well, speaking of Sip, it is the Week 18 schedule, and it is time.
Hard to believe, isn't it? Final week.
I know, mate. It's been a great year, by the way. I've thoroughly enjoyed this year.
It's been huge.
You do say it goes quick, but hasn't been. It's not that it's quick, but I just know that we're done. Like we've only got 4 to go, and I'm starting to get a little bit depressed because it's like, you know how much I love it.
Weird. I know. And then all the time off. But week 18 here, the regular season, far out. Unbelievable.
But hey, you know what? We get a little treat.
Yeah,
because we have some games on a Sunday in Australia.
We do,
and we get good games, and they're all competitive.
And they matter. There's no doubt. So it's an AFC North, just AFC North day, if you ask me, which is great. Yeah, excellent. So Cleveland Brown at Baltimore. We spoke about it obviously briefly just then, but Baltimore obviously need to win this game to hold on to the number 1 spot for their division. So I would be saying that they're going out there ready to go. So you'll see all their guys out there playing. Maybe if they're up by a bit, halfway through the third, they might start to look after themselves, but they're certainly going to start with their guys. Very much short price favourites here. And as you said, as we just mentioned, Derrick Henry's probably the guy to look for there straight away for his touchdown. And Lamar Jackson should be able to just kind of continue on his merry way against this rusty Cleveland defense. So
I watched the Browns last week.
Yeah.
And Dorian Thompson-Robinson, he's gone backwards, and I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't understand why they didn't just continue to play Jameis, to be honest. I mean, that's been a bit of a joke. But
I reckon they're both not going to be there next year. Maybe that's why. Maybe they're saying we can't continue with. I don't understand it either.
Yeah.
Look, best bet, Derrick Henry touchdown.
That's it.
And the line is 17.5. Stay away from the head-to-head in this.
Seriously.
You get $1.06. I mean, that's probably better than bank interest, really. But other than that, unless I've got nothing for you. I just can't believe that when I look at the PointsBet app right here, 17.5.
Unbelievable.
Cleveland. So they're saying that Ravens will probably win by 17 points.
Yeah.
And they probably will. They'll probably win by 30. But as you said, they might rest late.
Hey,
the over-under is 41.5.
Yeah.
Depending on weather, this is at Baltimore.
Yep.
You might think that if they do rest as a sneaky, I'll give you a little sneaky touchdown scorer. I've said it before and I'll say it again, but Keaton Mitchell, Justice Hill got knocked out pretty bad.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be playing him in this game, and I'd let Keaton go again. And
I can definitely see that for
Keaton Mitchell, I know he can catch the ball. So he's a third down back.
Yeah.
As long as they don't play their seconds and they just try to chew the clock like they normally do.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really like Keaton Mitchell at value.
Cool.
So that's a little smoky. But anyway, I'm more interested in the next game.
Yeah, me too. This is a ripper. This is huge. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. If you're obviously an avid NFL fan, you know exactly what's on the line for the Cincinnati Bengals. It's basically you got to win or else you're absolutely done for. I know they're relying on other teams to be able to get it done, but they are the hottest, almost the hottest team in the NFL right now, and it's based off one man. It's Joe Burrow.
There's two.
Well, there's two. There's obviously maybe three, but you know, Jamar obviously as well. But the man getting it to him has been on absolute fire for the last month. And I just expect him to. I expected a huge game out of him. I'm thinking like 300, 3 tutties. He's just going to be on the man, and let's make this happen. So. I mean, 300 plus yards right now for him is 225. I find absolutely fantastic right now. So I'm all over that one. And to be honest, the Steelers, 3 in a row, lost 3 in a row. Don't know where they're at right now, to be honest. It's like wrong time of the year to find yourself out of form. And Russell doesn't really, I'm not really sure about Russell, but it's going to be important because the Steelers need to still win to give themselves a shot to win the division. Simple as that. So this is a massive game. Absolutely massive game.
Pittsburgh do it every year.
I know.
And that's why I get a bit annoyed because they are very good. They find a way to beat
frustrating
the Ravens.
Yeah.
But then by the end of the year, they win 10 games and they're out. They're non-existent.
It's almost become irrelevant. At the wrong time.
But they get talked about all year. Like maybe this is the year. Quick stats for me. Pittsburgh allows the 10th most passing yards to quarterbacks, and they've been ripped for multiple passing touchdowns in 5 straight games.
Yep.
Joe Burrow, I think he's gone 8 games with 3 passing touchdowns and now has the record NFL history.
Yep.
I reckon he might want to do it again.
I reckon he probably is.
Look for the I saw Chase Brown, he injured himself, so they're going to be probably looking in the air. But Jamar Chase is going for records.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I saw he had 15 targets with Satan on him. He might get 20 without Satan on him this
There's
week.
A chance.
So I really like Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
I think PointsBet market will be up after we record this podcast.
The PointsBet have done a pretty good job here. They've got it going right now, which is good. good. So
they're up already.
yeah, for
There
this
you go.
game, it is, which is great.
Oh,
But
there you go. It is up.
the thing is
His line's
too
95.
That's
like,
right.
PointsBet, we love yous.
Yeah.
But that's free cash.
Yeah.
He's going 100 plus,
100%.
and I'm pretty sure he needs to get to 1700.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
Yeah.
And I think he needs about 130 or 40.
Yeah.
I think Jamar Chase at 95.5
I know,
as
it's
a
good.
line. Eat that up ASAP on
And
PointsBet.
the other thing is too, the reason why the Steelers have been really struggling is that first half of the year they were top 10 in red zone defense and really hard to score against. They're 26th currently. So since then they've been 26th out of 32 teams and have been beaten up badly in the red zone. Teams are just finding ways to expose them in the red zone defense, which is so. And if you're coming up against a team like the Bengals right now, good luck. Good luck in that area.
Pittsburgh allows the 7th most yards per reception and 3rd most receptions to receivers aligned out wide.
Yeah.
Mate, so I'm looking at...
Jamar and T. Higgins is about as good as it gets right now. If you look to the Steelers side, looking at PointsBet here, a juicy one here a little bit for you is Najee Harris though. His line right now is at 45. And I think the Bengals still give up a little bit in the run game. 45 yards though, it's not too bad. 50 plus at 210. I don't mind that at all, to be honest. He had last week, he had 74. I don't mind it, to be honest, if you look on the other side a little bit right now.
I'm just concerned about Jaylen Warren.
I don't mind.
Jaylen Warren has been stealing his snaps, but
He
you're
has
right.
been, but I mean, again, it's still a defense that's definitely vulnerable right now for sure. And someone like that surely is going to be able to get his 45 yards or his 46 yards and feel pretty good about. So that's another one I'd be looking for as well on that side.
I just think when you got George Pickens there and you look at what was done last week, but the player that they're looking at here on my little stats machine is Marvin Mims ripped them, right?
Yes.
So Calvin Austin plays the same posse. And the Bengals have just been giving it up.
Yeah,
So, I mean, if I'm looking anywhere, I just think I've got to go with the guns. It's Pickens and Austin, mainly Pickens.
Yeah.
But, geez, mate, Pickens is a stud. Like, some of the catches he can make.
Yeah, I know.
So I think he'll be getting a lot of targets.
Yeah.
And as we know, they get a bit...
In between the years for old Pickens, that's all I'll say. In between the years. But
look at these alternative receiving yards you get on the PointsBet app ready. The Jamar Chase... I'll start just at his line, $95, $87, $110 plus, $260, $125, $380, $140, $575, and then $155 plus, $9. I think that is not a roughie.
I'd have a little dab.
Yeah, I think it's
I'd
worth
be having
it.
a dab.
It
might be worth it.
Jamar Chase, $155 plus at $9.
Yeah.
It's one of the juicier bets on the program.
I'd have a little dab. I like it. Yeah.
Righto, let's keep going.
Moving on. Next one is Carolina and the Falcons. Well, Falcons have a lot to play for here. They can still win the division. Funny enough. So lost last week obviously hurts them, but they can still actually win the division. They obviously have to rely on the Bucs losing, but they win, the Bucs lose, they win the division.
Is that right?
That's right. Yep. Yeah, because they obviously both finish on an equal record, but because Atlanta has beaten the Bucs twice, they will take over the seed and have the number 4 seed in the playoffs. So there's still a lot to play for here. They still need to go out there and get the job done, and hopefully the Saints can maybe shake things up for them. But there's still a bit on the line for them. They have to win this, so it's still very important for them. Their guys will be out there, and the one man you got to go to is Bijan. We continue to say the same thing every week, but that's just how it is. Like Carolina give up the run game. It's as simple as that. Just teams are just absolutely destroying them on the ground, and Bijan has been on absolute fire, particularly for the last month, and I can see it going big again. So that's going to be the way I'm going to look at it, to be honest.
Yeah, and watching the game.
I don't know who else.
By the way, what a game that was.
That was it, yeah.
Drake London he missed Drake London a couple times,
Yeah, he did.
wide open.
Yeah, he
and Drake
did.
London, he's looking good with Penix. I think Penix is obviously just getting going, but that Washington D's not easy, and he looked good. He looked really good.
Yeah.
I know there was moments there, but when it that last drive was pretty impressive.
Yes.
I just really like that combo, and Pitt's actually come alive a little bit.
He did come alive.
He's
a little
not
bit,
alive
which is
like
good.
we want him to be, but he's there. It's not like a 20-yard game.
So that's handy.
But he had a couple big plays early, and it's like, he's around. So. Mate, love this game. Bijan, move on.
Yeah.
And as I said
That's
to you,
it.
I think if you did take him early, I took him early in one of my leagues, but He's going to be a smash hit in the next. Like I look at Gibbs.
He stays healthy in that.
Saquon.
He's a top 5 guy in that for many, many years to come in that area. It's simple as that.
Unbelievable. And now that Pennies can throw it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to have to defend everything.
100%.
So
Yeah,
it's
good.
exciting times
That's
for
good.
Atlanta. So Atlanta, so obviously the problem is the Bucks are playing the Saints.
That's right. That's the problem.
That's disappointing.
Yes,
because this week 18, it's a bit weak, isn't it? We don't have
games everywhere. It's like shit. There's so much on the line, which is a bit of a shame. But at least we know Atlanta still has to go out there and actually perform and win the game to at least give themselves a
Meaningful
shot.
game.
So that's right.
By the way, Bryce Young letting me down because I put him forward. You were 4 from 4, and I said let's do 2 each. I wish I just took that back. Sip was on fire last week, and
I lit up.
You lit up,
and it would have paid relatively well too. I reckon. I had some good odds. Not going to lie.
Jaden Daniels for 50 yards. He had 127.
I had Jaden Daniels for 50 yards, which was over $2, and I was like, that's easy money. I had AJ Brown for a tutty. I had JT for over 100, and I had Bucky Irving for over 100. Field day.
And the reason it didn't go up is because we were just going through the New Year's Eve teething it, and now we've got PointsBet on board, mate. These things will be posted everywhere.
You're right. It's good.
Mate, I'm
It's
excited.
great to have them on board. I'm stoked by it. This is awesome. So it's excellent stuff. Washington and Dallas, nothing on here. Dallas season's over. Washington's wrapped up a seed. I don't think they can fall out.
I've done a little bit of deep diving.
Is that
on
right?
this, and there's a case here where you just don't want to play Philly and Philly.
So you reckon?
Well, I don't think so.
Because obviously Washington can finish 7th. That's right, isn't it? And they'll have to go to Philly in the first week.
The 3 seed at the moment is the
right.
Rams.
Yeah.
And you'd just be filthy if you have to play Philly and Philly at the 2 seed.
That's
so
right.
it's just going to be interesting to see what happens.
It's between Green Bay and Washington, essentially, isn't it? About who finishes 6 or 7. So that's a good point. I don't mind that at all.
So just monitor. That's why when we talk about meaningful games, there's meaningful games, but they might want to rest everyone.
Yeah,
maybe they want to win, and Green Bay might actually just not want to win because at the moment Green Bay are going to Philly, and that is a nightmare.
Yeah,
Philly and Philly, tough. But Rams, I think I'd prefer to play Rams at SoFi, which is a very nice stadium.
I would too. Yeah, good point. So Washington.
The only player I've got in that is Terry McLaurin. He had a really tough game.
Yeah,
he's a good cornerback, and
he is.
He'll be doing the same thing this week. But when we're talking about
AJ Terrell just absolutely stopped him at all.
I think Bryce Young has a good matchup again, but I think Thielen might get a bit of that treatment. So just be careful with him. But back to the Commanders game in Dallas. Ferguson's been such a letdown for us this year, especially for me.
Been disappointing.
He's the one that's always cost me a stack, and I've just chased him all year for a tutty. He still hasn't got a tutty.
He's not going to get one this week either, mate.
And I just think Dallas might be like a Giants, and they might just go bananas late. So we'll just got to monitor that.
We'll see.
Terry McLaurin needs to bounce back.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's. I don't know really where else to look. I think that's a good point, and Daniels will probably just continue to do his thing. So,
do you like Micah Parsons' call about how he was only 5 plays away from maybe winning?
Yeah,
and they lost 41-7.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. It was 5 big plays that got the job done. Shut up, mate. You idiot.
He's on fire.
Anyway, Chicago, Green Bay, same thing as you said. Green Bay win. Green Bay, obviously they're relying on a couple of other teams to still lose, but they win, they go up to 6 seed and they get to play the Rams. So there's still a little bit on the line for them there. And, I would like to think that Love would kind of want to bounce back after last week's performance as well. I think he'd want to go in feeling pretty good in the playoff run and have a good one again, here against Chicago. Run game again really struggled, so I think Jacobs is a guy here to look out for. And obviously want to, playing at Lambeau, I think they just want to obviously have a good game here so they can kind of feel good going into the playoffs. So that's the way I see it in that one. Your thoughts, Tommy?
Nah, spot on. Yeah, and you're right. That's it. So they're on the 7 seed. They want to get to the 6.
Yeah.
Washington will want to maintain that.
Yeah.
We've got to look at how it plays out.
That's right.
Competitive games. Yeah. And Packers were really disappointing last week. Offensively.
They
just
were.
thought that. Well, defensively early as well. But just really, really disappointing. Jordan Love was... I don't know what the go was, but they were handing the ball off way too much. I thought Vikings run D is amazing. So I understand you're trying to establish the run.
Yep.
You're down 17 points or whatever, and you're still trying to establish it. You don't have time.
No.
And even late, there was 6 minutes to go, and they tried to run the ball, and they got stuffed. It's like you've just lost 40 seconds.
So true.
I know it's not finals or it's not playoffs, but it was frustrating. And I just think if I'm the head coach, I'm saying, Jordan, I wouldn't want to see you get going early in the air. And then Reed's the player that's been disappointing, and Watson didn't play. You wonder if Watson changes their offense. It probably does, the deep threat. They just go, well, you don't have Watson, so we'll come up. Yeah. But I would like to see Jordan Love get back to the Jordan Love that we know and the receiving game. But you're right. They wouldn't be surprised if they get going.
Couldn't agree more. Excellent. Move on. Houston, Tennessee. Well, everything's wrapped up here. Houston can't lose their spot. I think they'll finish in the 4. So they can't lose that. And Tennessee obviously have been a basket case all year. So not much relevance here. You're just kind of trying to look for some form again for Houston, who's been really, really struggling, to be honest. But they've kind of fallen by the wayside after starting pretty hot and feeling pretty good. They've kind of dropped off a little bit. So they've almost become a little bit like Steelers, to be honest. They've just become a little irrelevant all of a sudden. Their last win was against Jacksonville of all teams, really. And in between, they've kind of really struggled. So I don't really know how to look at it. You're trying to get CJ back. The O-line's been really struggling. But I expect him to I still expect him to go out there and win and find some form going into the following week. So they'll have a tough matchup going into the playoffs, and they're probably the one team that's really been struggling a little bit. But it's there's not much else. There's not much else to this game, I reckon. If I'm going to be honest, Houston's won. They've won 3 out of their last 5, so they're not exactly, as I said, in red hot form. Tennessee lost 5 in a row, but probably even more. And I think they're just waiting for their season to be over and done with. So I don't really know who to look at, to be honest. I'm interested in your thoughts on this one here, Tommy.
Same thing. I didn't really have any interest in it, really. Yeah. I think, like you said before with Houston, they are. It's Nico Collins and Stroud, and
they just need to find something, don't they? Yeah,
they're going to get a home fight.
Maybe Mixon might be able to get involved. He's been really quiet the last 6 weeks. I'm sure fantasy guys were pretty disappointed in that too.
But the Steelers currently on our playoff picture after last week.
Yeah.
That's not a bad one to start.
It's not.
That could be scrappy though. But it is under the roof at Houston.
Ugly, but yeah.
They're a team that I just wish the Bengals took. You know what I mean? Like when you get to the end of the year, you'd just be flat to see. Like I'd actually almost rather see the Dolphins in there and Tua playing and maybe Waddle's back. But it's just when Houston's lost all their receivers and they've lost their mojo. Yeah. They've lost their mojo. They're getting sliced on defense. Like Lamar went through them like butter.
That was one of the most probably embarrassing performances on your home deck on Christmas.
They didn't. Well, that third team ever to score 2 points because of 2 points.
Beyonce and that were there for him, and it was just embarrassing.
It was 0.
It was shocking.
0 points on offense.
Horrendous. Just bad football.
Let's move on.
And you can't tell me that that's not in their heads right now going into what's a pivotal part.
Hey, thank God Beyonce was there because she kept the joint, somewhat alive.
Seriously. Jacksonville, Indianapolis. This has no relevance whatsoever. Both teams are out, so. I don't know which way to go. I'm assuming JT should do his thing again.
Brian Thomas, mate.
Yeah.
And if Flacco...
JT should do his thing and I'd say that you're right. Brian Thomas has been on an absolute tear. Gosh, he's impressive to watch.
I just look back to our first podcast and I never followed my mouth. Yeah. I said, I'm going to follow this bloke, Brian Thomas, my old man's name and my name, and and I never have. He's been amazing, and he's had no quarterback, really. So
Mac Jones has been able to find him, and they obviously had that great connection, and he's been on an absolute tear. So I'd be looking at JT, and I'd be looking at Brian Thomas. They're the only two I'd be looking at for this game, to be honest.
Yep, love it. Obviously, keep Pollard in your thoughts.
For sure. Obviously, in the thoughts of what we said.
For 2 touchdowns, is it? Or one?
It's 2 tutties. Yeah.
Get it back up. Here we go, just before we keep moving.
And some yards as well.
It's Tony Pollard, 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah. It's $250K for 118, and he gets $200K for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's gettable.
Love it. Buffalo, New England. Buffalo, nothing to play for. They've wrapped up the number 2 seed. I don't know. I think there's a strong chance that they rest some guys too and play a few of their younger guys, the second tier guys. So I don't know if there's much there, to be honest. I haven't heard anything. Nah. I'm not too sure. That's not, you have to, can't take my word for it. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case, but I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see many of their stars beyond the first quarter and that, knowing that they've wrapped up games.
I think Hunter
So
Henry will have to fight back here. I think he laid an egg last week.
yeah,
but
I think so too.
he's about it.
Drake May's been liking Austin Hooper, if anything, so he might be a little cheeky one you can look at too. So there. New York, Philly, very much the same thing as we spoke about. The Saquon rest and that, so we're not too sure. Reports is that he most likely is. I'm not sure about Jalen either or not, or whether or not he'll play or not. I just don't see the relevance in most of them. But if anything, the run game's not going to change that much. So I believe Kenny Gainwell's probably the guy, to be honest. He'll start out there and get his reps, and I wouldn't be I'd be interested to see how that goes, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets himself a few yards and finds himself in the end zone, because you can't tell me that the New York Giants' run defense is going to change that much, and I reckon Kenny Gainwell.
If the Giants win, they lose another draft pick.
They do.
And
they do.
There's a chance they could win because they're going to rest everyone.
100%. No doubt. Which is hilarious. I love that shit.
So Philly might have an incentive to just let them win, so it just ruins them for another 4 years.
It's great. I love it.
Keep going.
Fantastic. New Orleans, Tampa.
Neighbours. I think Neighbours again. I think him and Drew Lock probably going, this is hilarious because we don't really like this place anyway.
That's right. It's great. Hilarious. New Orleans and Tampa. We've spoken about it. Tampa obviously need to win the game to wrap up the division, so it's a big game for them, very important. Baker's got some incentives to play for. Mike Evans has obviously got some incentives to play for, so really, really, really important game. And to be honest, I don't like anything about the New Orleans Saints, to be honest, and I expect their defense to absolutely take control with the way Spencer Rattler plays, and Tampa to be very, very comfortable and see Mike Evans get his 85, his 5 catches and his 2 tutties. So I expect all that to happen.
I'm all for the incentives in this game with Mike Evans, and that's all I can. And MVS is there as well.
Yep, that's all I'm banking on, really.
Love it.
Yeah. Kansas City and Denver. Obviously, we know what Denver need to do. They need to win the game.
Big game.
They've got Kansas City at $5.
Well, I think
I love that. I will take that.
Nah, I don't think Kansas have any incentive to win this.
I still think it's just excellent. Why not? Just see what happens. Just see Carson Wentz just slinging around would be hilarious. I love it. Dude. There is no incentives for him to win this game whatsoever. They could forfeit, to be honest.
Yeah.
They don't even have to make themselves out on the park. It's irrelevant. But yeah.
Is the game going to be ugly? Like, do you think it'll be
ugly?
Do you think it'll be like a low scoring 2-touchdown lead to the Broncos?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. I believe in Kansas City's system though. Like their system, their defensive system and everything like that just always has to make them have some form of what's the right word I'm trying to look for here, Harrow? Got me absolutely confused here.
I'm trying to think as well. I'm just thinking about the script while you're doing that.
Relevance. So I'm
just thinking the script will be hanging there till the end and just lose. Would be perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Make a game out of it until halfway through the fourth and go, okay, all right, we've run out of it.
Portland Sutton needs 82 yards.
Big time.
And they have their whole secondary out. And I just think Bo Nix will want to play well again.
Yeah. And there's a lot on the line for them. They do have to play well.
Yeah, I think it's an easy game. And I think if you go to the Chiefs, though, Carson Wentz, has he linked up with anyone? Let's look into that. I don't have the research now, but he did get a few reps not long ago.
He did.
Just look at who he likes to target.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there'll be some player props there.
There is one guy that you would normally that you would like, that you've built a connection with during training and stuff like that does a couple more reps with the twos and everything like that, no doubt. So definitely wanting to keep an eye on there. But calling Sutton for 82 yards, I think you can try and bank on for sure. Chargers and Vegas. Not much in this one either, to be honest. As we spoke about, J.K. Dobbins potentially get his 58. And because I don't know if the Chargers can actually move anywhere. I don't think they can lose spots or gain any spots. So I'm not too sure whether or not there's much to play for them here right now too. So right now, I believe that they're the 5 seed.
Yeah, I've got it up here. I believe
they're
the 6 seed.
Yeah, the 6 seed.
They would play the Ravens, so you get the Harbrow Cup or whatever.
Geez, so
that'd be a nasty start. Just on Ladd McConkey, your man. Hasn't he been super? Geez. I saw something about how they traded up and the Patriots just continually miss on receivers. Yeah. But I've got a little stat here that I screenshot to show you earlier, and I just want to emphasize the importance of coaching. and how good this guy has been for their franchise. And we talk about other clubs, Baker Mayfield, Darnold, 2 quarterbacks at Panthers together on the practice squad almost, and now leading their teams and their divisions. And it just goes to show that we give up on quarterbacks too early, and it's more coaching, I think. And this is a perfect example. So the Bleacher Report, shout out to them because they posted this. But the Chargers, they headed to the postseason after a wild off season. So they hired Jim Harbaugh as coach. They left running back Austin. They let Austin Eckler walk. Yep. They didn't even get anything for him. They said, free agency, you go. Mm-hmm. He went to Washington. They then traded Keenan Allen to the Bears. People thought they were mad. Yeah. They released Mike Williams. Yeah. And then they drafted Lad McConkey in the second round. It's their first 10-win season and playoff berth since 2022. Yeah. And I mean, what an unbelievable turnaround. Short turnaround. And that's a tough division.
Yeah, it is a tough division.
So just thought I'd read that out there. I don't know much for the game, but it's crazy. If you're a Chargers fan, you are set up because they added Joe Alt on that offensive line. Your quarterback's a stud, as you know, because he's your quarterback in fantasy and wasn't he good? Lad is I'm telling you, it's Julian Edelman 2.0. They can get a deep threat and they can get, I think they need another weapon. Maybe they've got a bit there at tight end, but I think if they get a couple more, there's talk Tyreek Hill, Garrett will. Yeah, they're going to get someone.
Someone's got to go there for sure.
The Chargers next year, you look out.
And there is incentive for them actually looking at it. So they're currently number 6, but if the Steelers lose and they win, they can go to the 5.
Nice.
So that's still a little bit there for them. They can go to the 5, and if Pittsburgh lose, because they're both 10-6 right now.
And they play Houston.
They'll play Houston instead of playing Baltimore. So
there's a huge incentive.
There's a huge incentive right now that looking at the standings and stuff. So there's a little bit more, there's a little bit more to it than just, kind of getting through the game healthy in that. I would certainly think that they want to be the 5 seed. With the way Houston's been playing right now, than have to go against a red-hot Baltimore. So, I think that's very, very interesting.
I'm just
I like it.
I'm looking at the playoff picture and I'm just like, oh, it's so good. Like, it's just the teams that we're going to get to watch beside maybe 1 or 2. Yeah. It's just explosive.
Yeah.
Keep going, King.
It's good. Next one we've got here is Seattle and Los Angeles. All we're looking for is seeing what Geno does with his arm. That's about it.
They're locked in, the Rams.
They're locked in.
Off the tie?
So Jimmy Garoppolo's playing, so Stafford's not playing. Jimmy Garoppolo's going to start. I don't know who else is going to be in and out for him. I'm assuming a few more won't play as well. But LA Rams have locked up the number 3 seed. They can't go any higher. They can't go any lower. And they get the home playoffs, so they'll be looking to be very, very fresh, and we'll just see what Seattle does with their arms. That's basically it. Geno just slinging around and see what happens. That's all I'd look at there.
Day out for Seattle.
Yep.
I think I think DK Metcalf will get a deep ball.
Smith and Najigba as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all I'm looking for.
I'm looking for the air.
Yep, that's it. Big game here. Next one, in a way, is Miami and the Jets. In a weird way, it is. Miami obviously need to win to keep themselves in playoff contention to start off with. So that's a very, very big occasion for them and very, very important. And then obviously, as we spoke about, maybe it's Rodgers' last game.
Well,
and he's looking for number 500.
Jets, Aaron Rodgers acknowledges Sunday could be his last NFL game with a quote, I think there's going to be change here. And if I'm not a part of the change, then I just want to make sure everybody knows that I have nothing but gratitude for my time here.
Yep.
He knows that he's out, I think, and it's a matter of if he wants to continue to play, and I reckon he'll go to one of those retreats and he'll probably work out that he's probably got another year in him, I reckon, but we don't think that he will.
So deep, dark space.
You know what's the 500 touchdown's important.
Yeah, it is. And you definitely want to get there. And
I know he wants to give it to Adams.
Yeah, I know. So just get it for yourself, though, mate. Just whoever's open, just do it. So I'll be looking for that. Obviously, Miami genuinely need to win this game to stay in contention, and obviously relying on Denver losing, which again is going to be hard. But they need to win this game to keep themselves a chance. So I would assume Tua is going to be back, which means that A-Chain and Tyreek Hill. For me, Tyreek Hill is going to be hard because, again, with I still think that the corners are going okay there for New York, but A-Chain seems to be the guy for me.
Wasn't he a villain?
Oh,
I think they rested him for this week because he wasn't on at the end of the game, and I was watching and going, I'm a bit confused here.
Pissed me off so much.
Mate.
Frustrating stuff.
Same here.
Yeah.
I had HN and Scary Terry, and they cost me.
Yeah, Scary Terry was the other
Huge.
villain, wasn't he? I
Yeah.
mean, he had a tough matchup. He had a couple of deep balls overlooked, but A-Chain didn't even get he wasn't getting any work.
Mate, I was watching it, and they just kept playing Mostert.
Yeah.
They're
Like,
actually
what are you
playing
doing?
Wilson.
Pissed me
Wilson
off.
was
Were they?
getting
I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
pissed
Wilson
me
was
off so
getting
much.
goal line.
It was
So
shit house. Pissed me off so much.
A-Chain's a great shout here, and maybe a little receiving touchdown.
Yeah, agree. San Francisco, Arizona, this game is irrelevant. Brock Purdy's out injured. He won't play.
Dobbs is starting.
Dobbs will start. I don't really know where to look at anymore. It's just maybe just slinging around in a shootout maybe and see what happens.
I think Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, what about McBride's touchdown last week? Have you seen a team feed in an important game? Feeding him.
Jeez.
Like, I reckon he's another good little bet there. Touchdown scorer,
Yeah, I think
McBride.
they finish it off in style there, and you see him as well. But this is the one
we've been
we
waiting.
have been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, massive game on the line here. Minnesota, Detroit Lions, number 1 seed in the NFC, and it is written up beautifully. 12:20 on your Monday. Let's just finish the season off in style. The script couldn't have been written any better. Here we go. Tommy.
Oh, well said. Well, we know one thing with the Detroit Lions defense is it's non-existent.
They're going to score.
But they score so many points. And when I go Addison, Jefferson, I mean, I should start again because Jefferson deserves to go first. But Addison's a beast. Hawkinson, Jones, Darnold. Mate. This offense is stacked. And you go to the other side and they're healthy. It is first time ever in NFL history you have 2 running backs and 2 receivers get 1,000 yards.
Unbelievable.
The trick plays, they would have been planning for this all year, knowing that, especially the last 2 weeks, that this was coming.
Yeah.
The fact that you can go from 1 seed to 5 makes me sick when you have a
14-win team and you're going to finish at the 5.
This
Unbelievable.
Is incredible. I look at the injuries and there's not a lot going on except for Aaron Jones is questionable here on ESPN as we look there. But
he'll play.
You'd think he'll play. Just a quick one because I am on ESPN. Is this game in Detroit or is this?
It is in Detroit.
There you go.
Yes.
So home field advantage to Detroit.
Yep.
This. I love Dan Campbell. We love it hard.
I love it hard.
The problem here for me is I honestly think the Vikings defense is just humming.
They are.
But they probably haven't seen a team like Detroit on offense.
No.
And the fact that it's at home, play calling becomes tougher for Darnold. And Detroit's defense, as bad as it is, they still have come up with plays at times.
They do. They come up with picks at the right time. Like Arnold had 2 last week at the perfect time. You really thought that San Francisco might actually roll them here. They're like, can't stop Kittle. Ricky's was on fire, couldn't stop him either. And you're like, geez, they might actually sneak this one in and this could be very interesting for Detroit. And they come up with 2 picks at the right time, get the ball back, can't stop them on offense, so they go down and score. And it's almost all she wrote. It's unbelievable. And they do. They come up with plays at the right time, which is massive. And Sam's still susceptible to it. He still can be a bit rogue with it. So I'll be interested to see. But this is juicy. Like from seeing the personnel and what you're going to be able to get here, both secondaries are genuinely relatively weak based on the stats. And that you should be licking your chops right now. St. Brown, JJ, Addison, Williams, thank you very much. And the quarterback should be throwing 300 each and going, thank you very much. It's just set up beautifully to finish off this season in style.
PointsBet already have the odds up.
It's great.
Elite. And
it's elite.
Goff's line's 270.
Yeah, love it.
JJ's only 90 on the. I mean, we're getting juice everywhere. And by the way, this is the game that we are going to cook something up together. So
we are.
If you're listening here, just know that we're going to have a little special for you at 12:20 on a Monday.
Excellent.
You can sit there. Don't tell your boss you're on a lunch break because you don't want to miss this game.
No,
this game feels like a Super Bowl to me.
Yeah.
It's got everything, and we know
huge implications.
Yeah,
huge.
And
the fact that you go on the road for the whole playoff series if you don't win this game after being a 14-win team, like that's massive. That is massive. I don't care how good you are, going on the road in a playoff situation is extremely tough. And you're going to finish number 5, and you're probably going to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But guess what they've been able to do? they're playing just as good a football right now. They've just come good at the right time. Their defense is slowly getting right. You've seen what they can do on the offensive side of the ball. Like, good luck. Good luck. It's hard to play down there. Extremely hard to play down there. So there's a lot on the line here. A lot on the line.
Vikings run D is elite.
They're elite.
Is elite. But I just think this is going to be a passing feast for the Lions.
I still think they establish themselves, though, because Detroit's O-line is one of the best in the league. And I understand that, like, their run D's been good all year, but sometimes you can back your O-line in too, which Detroit are arguably the best in the league. And you go, we've got the guys to be able to get it done if we can. And I still think Gibbs will have a pretty big influence on this game, no doubt.
I can't wait. Well, let's just get an early prediction from you, King.
I think Detroit get it done. I think it's good. I think it's going to be, as I said, I think it's going to be high scoring. We always get that with Detroit. That's obviously obvious, but I think Detroit come away with the goods. I just think that their offense is just a bit too much. I love what Sam's been able to do, but I just think, as I said, Detroit come up with great plays at the right time, and they'll just get one or two possessions, whether it's a fumble, whether it's a pick, that allows offense to break away at the crucial moment, and they'll wrap up the number 1 seed and be the team to beat in the NFC.
I love it. I want to see Detroit do well. I want to see both. I think they can both go deep, but on the road it sucks. The Detroit Lions have had a lot of injuries. I'd love them to get a week rest. Yeah. And Amon Ra, that little, when he pulled the belt off and he's whipping the camera. Oh my God, is that not the best celebration you've ever seen? They beat your ass. And I think Fred Warner was saying we're going to send them back home. And they're like, and they all pulled the belts off and they're whipping the camera. Oh my God.
Whip that ass.
So I reckon they're going to whip that ass.
We whip that ass.
And Justin Jefferson will probably go for 150. I think Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson could both go 150 this week. The LSU products of this league. We've got a graphic that we saw the other day. But look, this game is the best game. As I said, head to the PointsBet app, check out the little special that me and Sip are going to cook up together. And we, as I said, to the PointsBet, huge partners of ours. We're going to be powered by them for a long time, and we're just very proud to have them on board. So shout out to PointsBet for jumping on all those American Aces work. And Sip, we are just getting started. 2025 is just starting off with a bang, and I just can't wait for these games Sunday. But that game at 12:20
is huge.
I've got the cinema at mine. Come around mine, King.
I might have to.
To everyone out there, Happy New Year. Thank you for your support. We are just getting started. Like I said, Super Bowl party at the Osborne. We'll get the tickets and info and everything else when they come through to our desk. But let's really rip in this week. We've gone hard on the incentives for you, and that's mainly Sip. He's gone hard, so well done, Sip, by the way. I've got them all written down here, but the one I love the most is clearly Mike Evans and Sutton and a Derrick Henry touchdown. He'll probably score the first and rest the second half when they're up by 17. But
that's right.
This is everything, all eyes on the Vikings at Detroit Lions. We'd love to hear what you think is going to happen, but good luck, everyone. And as I said, Happy New Year.
That schoolboy defending.
This season, try PointsBet's NFL Bet Tracker. Bet on NFL markets like passing yards or receptions and follow them live in the PointsBet app. Available on singles, multis, and same-game multis. PointsBet. Built different.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.